Wanda is one of the most used and most well-known run game tags in the Shanahan McVay offense, and in this video we're going to take a look at Wanda and some of the extra run tags that can be run using Wanda and a bonus little play at the end, so make sure you stick around and let's dive in. So starting here with the concept explainer page, we've got that this is a box declared single back concept designed to attack the perimeter to the weak side. Now, if you watched my last video, whenever we were breaking down the playbook on the base 18 or 19, that was a Mike declared single back concept designed to attack the perimeter to the strong side. So what are some differences here? First off, when we're talking about declaration, we're talking about the center IDing the front and the Mike in terms of who he is targeting at the second level. Be sure to check out the base video for more explanation on Mike declared concepts. A box declaration is when the center is going to target the first, second level defender in the box, what most would call the play side linebacker. And Wanda is also going to be run to the weak side. So the strong side is going to be a 3+ man surface. A weak side is going to just be a 2-man surface, and we're going to see what that means whenever we get to the diagrams. But that doesn't just mean that it goes away from the tight end. If we're in 2x2 completely spread out, but that doesn't just mean it has to be run away from the tight end side. If the tight end is split out as a wide receiver, think we're in a 4 wide formation, then the offensive line in this system has 2 weak sides. So essentially what we're going to get here with Wanda is we have a single back concept designed to attack at the perimeter to a 2-man surface. And that's why we're going to see a ton of different variations in this video of Wanda and tags that can be run off of Wanda, because essentially this is just how we get to weak side zone. Wanda can be used with outside zone and inside zone. It's got quite a few secondary tags off of it. If you've read these playbooks, then you know that sometimes the play names have changed over time. If you haven't read the playbooks, by the way, be sure to check out the link in the description. You can sign up and I will send them to you, my Google Drive folder, in an email. That's going to be the 2014 Redskins, 2015 and 2017 Falcons, 2018 49ers, and 2019 Packers offenses, all from the Shanahan McVay system, with that 19 Packers being Matt LaFleur. But what you'll notice when you read those is the play names change over time, and some of the other ones that they would call Wanda with a secondary tag now just have their own single name. So we'll break those down in other videos if they've got those other names, and we'll reference the Wanda tags in those. But let's go ahead and dive into these diagrams. This first one on the left is probably the best one for just explaining the base concept. So we're running 19 Wanda here, and you can see we've got our 2-man surface, the left tackle and the left guard. And while you don't have to, most of these are going to include a backside 3-man surface to take care of that defensive end, or to combo up and then the defensive end being controlled by the boot of the quarterback. But here it's 6-on-6 in the box, so we get the box blocked up, and the running back should be hitting this in the B gap. Now, one thing I do want to note about the Wanda tag in particular is for certain teams, especially like the Rams that I've noticed this, whenever they run Wanda, the left guard may not actually be comboing with the left tackle here. Instead, he's going to make sure that the nose gets cut off so the center can get all the way around him before climbing up to the mic, and the left tackle is essentially just going to be base blocking out the defensive end. That's going to force the running back into the B gap. So you might be asking, if we're just running zone right, zone left, it's one back zone, why do they need a tag? And that could be one potential answer for some of these teams, is that with the Wanda tag, now the play side tackle knows that he's just going to block that defensive end out. He's not going to get any help. He doesn't have anybody crossing his face. And that's just so the guard can really make sure that we get that alley created on the front side, make sure that center has all the help that he needs so that we can get the ball hitting the B gap. Looking to the right over here, you can see that now we have 14 Wanda. So it's not just outside zone, this is just a zone tag. 14 would be inside zone to the right, 15 inside zone to the left. But you can see this is 14 Wanda here. A little bit easier to see the point declaration for the center as well. They are targeting the will here because he is that first, second level defender in the box. The defense now has 7 in the box, and we're only blocking for 6. So that backside defender, that Sam, is going to be cut loose to be controlled by the boot of the quarterback. Tight end is going to be comboing with the left tackle here up to the backside linebacker. But again, we have one back zone to a 2-man surface. That is the essence of Wanda. This video is sponsored by GameStrat. GameStrat is the most reliable sideline replay system on the market due to their wired connection from press box camera to router, which also speeds up loading times on the field. GameStrat's picture-in-picture feature allows for easy switching between angles. Each angle is synced up for seamless playback when switching. A side benefit of this feature is both angles loading simultaneously. Instead of watching one angle, navigating to the other, and waiting for it to load, get GameStrat and enjoy seamless playback between multiple angles. So we've seen outside zone, inside zone, and now we have what I personally would consider tight zone. We've got the pistol, the running back is going backside, crossing the quarterback's face, basically has no chance of hitting it on the front side here. That's what I would really consider tight zone. It's not quite duo either. Check out my video on inside zone versus duo and the differences there. But this would be 10 and 11 from Sean McVay's Washington playbook. Remember, this quarterback here was RG3, so they wanted to make sure that they could get the ball in his hands as much as possible too, so they could run things like this with a zone read on the backside using Wanda. So right here we have 11 Wanda Bear. We have Wanda again because 11 going to be tight zone left. The running back is technically aiming for the left side. Yes, we're going right to go left, but the left side of the line is the play side. We have our 2-man surface and it's one back zone, so it's going to be Wanda something. Bear simply indicates the backside arc by the tight end who is attached on the line. He's looking for the most dangerous man, whether it's a Sam scraping over or a strong safety coming down. He's looking for the most dangerous man because the end is going to be the read man. If you haven't noticed it in these playbooks, they have the ball carrier's circle completely filled. Here on the option, the quarterback's is halfway filled and the running back's is halfway filled. That's how we can tell that this is a read. We also get that cue right here. So we have outside zone, inside zone, tight zone read, and we are just scratching the surface of what we can do with Wanda. Another tight zone read variation here, they've got WAG. I'm not entirely sure what WAG stands for, but I would imagine that it's either Wanda and Grizz or just Wanda Grizz tied together so they didn't have to use 2 words. But we do have our 2-man surface on the front side, and the Grizz is different from the Bear because the block is coming from the play side. He's going to bluff the sift on the defensive end and loop around for the backside force player, which in this case would be the Will. So we looked at Bear on the last play, a form of Grizz on this one. Grizzly, Bear, they kind of go together, and each of them is going to have a backside blocker getting around a read man and looking for the most dangerous man after that. All right, so this is a cool one. This is Wanda Wipe, and Wipe is a fold block for the offensive line. So this would be something that the offensive line can use as a changeup. You can see the wipe right here between the left guard and the center. There are 2 other options for how this play can go down. It wouldn't be wipe, but the left guard, as we've seen, can either be in combination here with the left tackle and they can be working up to the will. The left guard could be working with the center in combination up to the will if that left tackle is just going to block out the end and turn it more into a mid zone. But here instead we've got the one, kind of you might consider that a 2-eye, and the left guard is going to just block him down. The left tackle here I would say needs to be working to just block this end out, and then now the center can fit the alley up to the will that they would be working towards anyway if they were in combination. So Wipe is going to say that we're going to get some sort of fold on the front side. I wouldn't run it to a 3, but even if, let's say, this knows we're head up, the left guard could still down block him, the center could still get around, and that would be a good play. All right, next up, we've got Wanda Outside. You'll see this denoted as OS in the diagrams, and this changes quite a few things for the front, but we still have that Wanda call in front of it. Still a box declared concept, but this is a toss play for the running back. So he is going to get outside. If we look at, I really find these notes for the offensive line interesting, front side tackle over reach. And we'll see that kind of taking place looking at these diagrams. So here, looking at the one on the left, we've got our toss action from the quarterback. You can see the path of the running back going much wider than it would be if he was on his normal outside zone track. But I find this really interesting, the front side tackle overreaching here on the defensive end. And what that has done is now, even in the diagrams, this is the same one we looked at the beginning. This is the 49ers 2018 playbook. It's kind of, like I said in the last base video, that's kind of my reference point for all these concepts. But now the left guard, instead of working with the left tackle, he's working with the center. Because that front side tackle's overreaching to get the defensive end, we can assume that they just know there's no chance that the left guard is going to get there. So he has to make sure that the center gets the nose cut off in case that ball still has to cut back. So since the front side tackle is working so hard to reach that defensive end, the left guard, there's no chance he's going to get there. So we might as well just make sure that nose gets cut off and that this play still hits on the front side with the combination. Because one of two things can happen with this defensive end. If it's a stud, if it's Myles Garrett, he can fight this block all the way out here and maybe still potentially cut this ball off right here. So if that's the case, we need to make sure that the rest of the defensive front is sealed in, and then the left guard just has a one-on-one with the will for some sort of cut for the running back. The other scenario is the end either pinches or gets reached from that front side tackle, in which case the outside lane is open. So either way, there's not really a huge benefit to trying to get the left guard working with the defensive end here. It's going to be a lot better of a play with him working for the nose. But in the end, it's one back zone to a two-man surface to a weak side. It's Wanda. So of the diagrams that I have that don't include like a sift block or anything of Wanda, those are really the base ways that it can be run. However, it does need protection. You'll notice in some of the diagrams, either that we were looking at or ones next to them, that there was always some sort of protection. There was maybe a can call, an Oscar, an RPO, different things like that, because this play does need protection. I don't know that I've ever seen a diagram in this system that just contains a Wanda call without something, whether it's a zone read, a can, an Oscar, or a motion like we're about to see right here. The rest of this video is going to be dedicated to those different things that can protect the Wanda call to make sure that it's going to get off successfully. So here we have 19 Wanda Delta, and Delta is what they call this fly motion away from the play. We'll look at Virgin in the next one, Delta and Virgin, different airlines, different types of fly motion. Delta is fly motion away from the play. So the fly motion is going to the right here, play is going to the left. We can see on the right side, fly motion is going to the left, play is going to the right. And this is a classic way that zones have been run forever. We can see the cues for the defense here is the adjustments to the motion. So the X is going to go in short motion first, then he gets in that delta motion from there. We've got the Sam flying out of the box. We've got the strong safety coming down, the free safety rotating up, and then the will still being able to get blocked by the F here. So almost everybody that can make a play here has followed the motion. On the flip side, let's think about what could happen without the motion. If the running back gets outside, it's going to be hard for the F and the X to take care of both of those safety and the will. So once the defense rotates, we basically have a free safety in the middle of the field. We have the strong safety out, we have the Sam out, and the nickel will is still getting blocked by the F here. So if the offensive line doesn't break down, these three are really the only ones that can make a play, and we still have three hats for them. So again, if the offensive line doesn't break down, this play should be successful. Virgin, as I said, on the other hand, is fly motion in the direction of the play. So we can see the fly motion going left and the running back or the ball carrier going left. So whereas Delta is designed to cut the front in half by getting certain players moving towards the back side, Virgin is used to get players overflowing to the front side and still get cut off and end up cutting the ball back behind it. And this is one that the Rams use a ton. It's one of my favorite ways to use motion. The way that I would think about it here is maybe if a defense was running more of a traditional 4-3, we've got the 6-man box, the Mikes here over the guard, the Wills over the other guard, got the free safety on the backside, and then they're playing their 3-over-2 concepts to the Twins. If the offense were to run the ball and still want the play side single to be blocking the corner, there's nobody for the free safety here. However, now with the Virgin motion, that play side force player has to honor that motion. If he's not going to honor the motion, then that's when you hand off the jet sweep. So that's when I would want to use Virgin motion, is if we don't have somebody blocking that play side force defender, or maybe they're like the F here and they're just not in a good position to do so. Now, in this specific scenario, what I would imagine that the 49ers would be thinking here is the center is maybe not getting the nose cut off. Maybe the Mike is able to shoot this backside A-gap before the right guard gets off of the 3 here. So if they flow with the motion just a little bit, it's probably going to offer a cutback lane. You can see the tight end is climbing up to take care of that strong safety when he buzzes down into the box. And then the end still has to honor the boot of the quarterback, so that cutback should be there. This video is brought to you by the all-in-one player information spreadsheet. This spreadsheet will calculate max percentages and update your player prospect sheet automatically. If you are still calculating maxes by hand, then manually updating the prospect sheet for college recruiters, this resource is for you. Learn how to get back your time with this time-saving resource in the description below. Kind of cheating here a little bit with this next variation here, but this is Wanda Man, and this is not a 1-back run. This is actually a 2-back run, still run to the weak side being a 2-man surface. However, now we have the insert on the back side with man blocking. Now this is very, very similar to another run concept by this tree, and that is split. But the difference is in the box declaration, and that's why I'm really big on explaining those at the beginning of these videos, is because sometimes that is the only difference between 2 different plays and 2 different run tags as a whole, is they just want to ID the box differently. So while split and Wanda Man are both inserts on the backside linebacker, how they identify the front to get there is very different. But what man tells us is that the backside of the line is man blocking. A lot of people in high school call that lock. We're going to lock the backside and insert on the linebacker that we would be climbing up to. If this were regular Wanda, the left guard and the left tackle would be comboing the 3 up to the Sam. We would leave the defensive end loose to be controlled by the boot. If this were regular Wanda, then we would have a B combo, left guard and left tackle up to the backside linebacker. The Y would just take the defensive end. However, again, maybe this defensive end, maybe that's Myles Garrett. Maybe he's kicking the tight end's tail all night long and wreaking havoc in the backfield, and you want to give him a different look, or you just want to get better leverage on him by keeping him outside of the play, make him run the hoop all the way around, and then the tight end now can insert on that backside linebacker. Wanda Man is also something that they will use to run RPOs. So this is exactly like what a lot of people in high school call zone lock. We've got Wanda Man RPO. Front side blocking Wanda, backside blocking man. Instead of having that insert for the backside linebacker, now he is the read man that red box is for. And you'll see this RPO in all these diagrams for the 49ers. We've got a glance, a bubble, and a clear out route by the number 3. Now, I'm not a fan of RPOs like this personally. I feel like they take a little bit too long to read. Linemen can get downfield. What I would imagine is the bubble is probably designed to widen out this nickel Sam. Clear out is designed to take care of the strong safety. Here's our space. If the Mike blitzes, then we've got our space open for the glance by the Z. Just not a huge fan of concepts like these. Personally, I feel like they're not that hard to stop defensively. If you play combo coverage, then that should really be simple with these 2. The Sam would just take this glance when he came in. The corner could trap the bubble, or you can just sling the fits. Move the Mike out of the box, maybe put the will over the center, and then pinch the defensive end into the B gap. Now, whenever the running back is making his read, he's going to get a bounce read to which there is an unblocked free safety coming down. Even if you crack him with the X, then you crack a place with the corner, and there's your force player. If you're still reading the mic is out of the run fit, so you get a give read into a box that still contains somebody that you can't block. I'm just not a huge fan of backside concepts in general, but especially ones that contain multiple routes unless there's just a defined 1-person read, which is why I said I would have to imagine that's the Z right here. Especially in the NFL, they don't give you any leeway hardly with linemen downfield, whereas in high school we get like 3 yards. And even though those quarterbacks can process a lot faster than ours, I still doubt they can get through a progression that quickly before a single offensive lineman gets more than a yard downfield and still be able to get that play off without a penalty. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about RPOs like this. I feel like I'm kind of on an island with these, with how RPO heavy everything in our game feels like it is today. I do like this RPO from the Green Bay Packers more than I liked that one we just looked at. And it's because of that, I think there's only one read here. I think it's the F. This is a goal line concept here. The X is designed to basically pick the wheel, not let the wheel cross his face. So if that end rushes, then now the F is going to be open right here on the goal line. Again, 3-yard line, that's going to score. What's really interesting to me about this is that it's regular Wanda. There is no man. We are not locked on the backside. The defensive end is the throw read. And I think that's really important because if the left tackle were to block out right here, that could be a pass read for the Mike. So if the left tackle is blocking out, then the Mike would be the read man. Then if the Mike reads pass, he can theoretically take away the shield right here and fit back in late for the halfback. Again, this is a goal line play, so it's got to hit quick. So we're going to confuse that Mike a little bit and this defensive end by giving them a run read. Everything here says we are running the ball. If the end is unblocked and he's still being read, normally that's going to be for a zone read, not for a throw read. Like we talked about on the last play, the Mike wouldn't be somebody you take out of the run fit here since you're covered down 2-over-2 on the outside. But the defensive end, that is a defensive lineman the way this front is drawn up. That's not a 3-4 outside linebacker that can drop. That's a defensive end. Even with sim and creeper pressures, if those guys get run reads, they are still run defenders. They only drop off the line if they get a pass read. So everything here says it's a run. We're on the goal line. I like this one quite a bit better than I like the Wanda Man RPO. And lastly, I did say I had a little bonus for you. This is Wanda CAN Support. This is a really classic pairing. Again, I said Wanda normally always has something with it, and having the option to CAN to support is one of those most popular options. So the bonus play I'm going to tell you about is support. And we can see it right here. This is when they would CAN it. You want to CAN it to 19 support versus rotation. So the original play call was 18 Wanda. If they can run Wanda here, they want to run Wanda. You can kind of see that in the left one right here. There's no need to CAN it, so they're going to keep their Wanda call. But the defense here does what I said they kind of should do with the RPO. Now they're going to bring the free safety into the box. And if we're just running regular 18 Wanda here, right tackle would have the end, right guard would have the 3, center would be working the nose up to the will, right tackle would have the Mike, and the Y would have the defensive end. Nobody has the free safety. So if this run hits front side, then there's going to be an unblocked defender in the box. So that is not a good play for an offense to run. So you'd want to CAN it to 19 support. And support is simply base, except instead of a pro flank, it's a trips flank. Support says we have enough now, we can block the support player and the corner. So remember, regular base, the play side wide receiver had to decipher who that force defender was going to be, who that support player was. With 18-19 support, we have an extra blocker over there, so we could block them both. And that's why this is a classic pairing, Wanda CAN Support, is because the defense cannot conceivably cover both. You'll see these flipped around too based on what the offense wants to do. You'll see trips left, 19 support, CAN 18 Wanda, and they'll have different rules for when they want to CAN it from there. But a defense, I guess unless they're in cover 0 or just have better players and the ability to cancel gaps up front, if you're just looking at 11 on 11, a defense cannot possibly stop Wanda and support from alignment on the same play. We can see right here, free safety's down. They have the ability to stop Wanda, but when they rotate that strong safety up, they don't have the ability to stop support. We have our tight end, left tackle working the end up to the Mike, left guard and center working the nose up to the will, and then we've got a B call up to the free safety on the backside. Support player blocked, corner blocked. The only player that can make this play is the strong safety unless somebody misses a block up front. Support isn't the only play that can be canned with Wanda, but it is probably the one that we see the most in the diagrams. Again, if you want access to these playbooks, click the link in the description below. I've got them all separated out by concept. If you got some value out of this video, leave a thumbs up and click on the screen to watch the next one in the series.